Hi there, my YouTube friends. This is the Erudite Brother. Today, I'm going to talk about so-called interracial dating. Um, what interracial dating would actually look like, um, and what's my opinion on it. There are several videos on YouTube regarding interracial dating where people are either for or against it. Um, Yet, I think that if one looks at the overall arching concept of interracial dating, that there is uh, a grand misconception uh, relative to its definition and understanding. First off, there is no scientific definition of race. It does not exist in modern day society. It was created originally by white men. This came out of Europe several hundred years ago with the expressed intent to justify the dehumanization, oppression, subjugation, and enslavement of people relative to their skin color, so-called race, generally their ethnicity and culture. Um, when one looks at that, you begin to get a clearer understanding of race and its diabolical insertion and institutionalization within society today. Um, I sent an email uh, several years ago now as an undergraduate student um, working on my then master's, um, and I'll be almost done with this master's I'm working on now. But the original email, and I want to find out the original date, appears to be February the 2nd of 2010, and I sent an email to the Human Genome website and received a response from a lady there, and I'm going to read it. I'm going to reveal her name. I don't feel it's necessary. I sent this particular email prefaced after the response um, to uh, to several individual friends of mine and an instructor in the program that I was in. So let me read the Human Genome response and my initial question. Hello. Let me preface this question by stating that I am a graduate student working on my master's degree. I informed my instructor that I would be seeking professional scientific validity regarding the issue of quote-unquote race. While my particular field of study would not be considered a hard science, it does utilize various areas of hard science. I'm sending you this email due to the fact that I am presently enrolled in a human development course, and we are in part studying human genetics. I have long since believed that the term quote-unquote race is a non-scientific term. It is my contention that it has no validity for usage in reference to human biology. However, my instructor utilizes the term almost daily. In fact, um, his daughter is a geneticist, according to him. Geneticists have sufficient evidence that race exists. This is also something that the instructor stated, profoundly interesting comment, I must add. Moreover, uh, uh, like other professors, he has written a book and incorporated the term within the body of his work. Since this issue is so markedly important, I wanted to ask one of your staff to please respond to this email. My humble questions are, and there were 4 questions I asked. 1, does the term race, quote unquote, have scientific validity? 2, have your numerous studies regarding human genetics proven that humanity is separated by differences that are racial in origin? Does your staff feel that the term quote-unquote race has purpose within the scientific community? And 4, should the term race, quote-unquote again, be utilized within an academic institution as a human identity marker? It has been my contention, speaking of my personal contention, to use the term ethnicity in place of the term race, and the term ethnicism in place of racism. At any rate, I await your response to this email as I plan to produce a copy to my instructor for review as well. Respectfully, the erudite brother. So, a lady responded February the 11th, 2010, and from a government website. I won't give her name, as I said. Dear erudite brother, thanks for your email to the U.S. Department of Energy's Human Genome Project Information website. Several books and journal articles, have been published on the topic of genetics and race that I think you will find helpful. So she gives a listing, such as 1. See the entire issue of Nature, November 2004, volume 36, number 11. And you can go to nature.com//index.html !file equals /ng/journal/volume 36 /n11s /index.html. And there's several other links. I'm just going to put the links in the description box. Okay. And so she stated here, after giving me several links, no genes for race, quote unquote, have been found. Rather, genes have been found that are prevalent among certain ethnic groups who have lived together in population groups for long periods of time. Following is how this is stated on our website. DNA studies do not indicate that separate classifiable subspecies, races, exist within modern humans. While different genes for physical traits such as skin and hair color can be identified between individuals, no consistent patterns of genes across the human genome exist to distinguish one race from another. There also is no genetic basis for divisions of human ethnicity. People who have lived in the same, this would say, geographical region. I'm loading the next page here. People who have lived in the same geographical region for many generations have some alleles, allele, in common. But no allele will be found in all members of one population and in no members of any other. Indeed, it has been proven that there is more genetic variation within races than exists between them. I hope this information is helpful as you research this fascinating and controversial topic. Regards, Genome Management Information Systems. So, I really shouldn't have to read this to people who value education. So I figure the vast majority of my viewers do value education, and it's probably why you're watching this. Please spread that around. Once I received that email, I sent this email out to friends and the professor that I had mentioned prior. Basically, dear sir, I'm sending you this email with the intent to address this issue of so-called race, quote unquote, of which you and I have had discussions regarding its validity. I stated that it is a socio-political construct and has no validity for usage within an academic institution except as a reference to economic, social, and/or political conditions or situations, not in regards to any scientific discussions, or most particularly classes dealing with issues of science. I received the email below upon sending in some questions relative to this topic, of which I feel is of the most profound importance. It is my humble opinion that this ideology of race has been utilized to dehumanize, marginalize, oppress, and ravage so many populations of people that it is a monstrous creation that should be addressed not only historically but scientifically. It has been my life's pursuit to do just this. The intent of this email is not to offend but to enlighten. Respectfully, the erudite brother. So, in the next few years, hopefully within the next 5-6 years, I will have posted my doctorate in sociology, as it is an intent of mine, and we'll address this issue more in depth at that time, although this will be the basis for it. This so-called ideology of race and its subsequent analysis from the Human Genome Project, which gives profound indication that race does not exist. So now, for those of you who are against interracial dating and have watched this video, hopefully you will now be enlightened as to what race actually implies. There are no subspecies of human beings. Perhaps if Neanderthals and Cro-Mags existed today, not a genetic variant such as redheads in the case of Neanderthal relative genes, but the actual subspecies of humans existed, then we could say race in reference to them. They're a different race. Now, if you find a Sasquatch somewhere here in the United States roaming around and you can get video of it, supposedly a gentleman did, that was brought up in the news, and proved that a Sasquatch exists and that there is some human marker for the Yeti Sasquatches, then they can be another race. Andorians, when looking at the Star Trek universe, I love Andorian women, that's so sexy. An Andorian would be another race. A Klingon would be another race. Klingon women are a little rough, but I find them a little sexy too. The Orion slave girls, what can I say? They're definitely sexy, although I'm against slavery myself. And so many others in the Star Trek universe and Babylon 5 universe, when speaking of the Narn, and so many other ladies. Centauri women are kind of bizarre. Ferengi women in Star Trek. Ugh. But yeah, I'm all for interracial, intergalactic dating someone who basically doesn't have an origin on the planet Earth, or is from one of our far distant ancestors on the planet Earth. So yeah, I'm all for interracial dating. But you know what I'm not for? I'm not for stupidity. I'm not for ignorance. I'm not for hatred. I'm not for violence. Those things have really no interest in my life. I try at all times to excel above those. Sometimes I fail, just like others. I have my own problems, my own qualms, my own personal taste, my own personal judgments, likes and dislikes. But I try at every turn, I try to base that upon education, enlightenment, science, rationale. Sometimes my science may venture off a little others, my rationale may venture off in other areas that others don't. But that's it. Hey, interracial dating, I'm all for it. Okay, this is the erudite brother. Peace.